Hello again, everybody. This is your goateed wrestling review champion, Minnesota Joe, with another review for WWE Monday Night Raw for June 11th, 2018, the go-home show for Money in the Bank. And, this show, a lot of ups and downs, but, man, the Fatal 4-Ways were just great. Those are pretty good. They're not the best. I probably would have enjoyed them more if I didn't watch Dominion over the weekend, which, by the way, if you haven't watched that show, watch it. It's worth the $9 you're going to pay for New Japan World, and New Japan is probably the best thing going on wrestling right now. Don't miss out on it. It's awesome. Yeah, I'm disappointed I didn't get that review out, but, whatever. Still new to this, still trying to do this, and, got so many plans, and blah, blah, blah. I'm just a busy guy. Alright, enough about me. Let's talk about this show. First off, we start with promos on the top of the ladder with all the men and women who are in the Money in the Bank match on the Raw side. So, it's kind of like that one year where they had, I think it was 2 years ago, where they had that kind of promo where it was all of the competitors on a ladder, which, it's kind of a creative idea, I think, but it's still a little strange. And Kurt comes out and he says it's the most grueling match in WWE history, which I'm like, it's pretty grueling, it looks like, but when it comes to a most grueling match in WWE history, I think that Hell in a Cell probably takes the cake there. Mick Foley almost died 2 times in Hell in a Cell in just one match. Come on, that match is way more grueling. Alright, well, Constable Corbin comes out to interrupt him, and he has no hair on, which I'm like, alright, well, I guess no hair Corbin is a new thing. Yeah, last week I didn't do a review because of my power issues and all that, and besides, Raw, I heard wasn't good, and all the clips I saw of it looked terrible, so I'm like, you know what, if they're not going to put any effort in, I'm not going to put any effort in to review it. So, this week, I'm like, alright, let's get back on track, let's do this. So, Constable Corbin, I think it's a silly idea. At least Corbin gets to do something, because, I like Baron Corbin. He's a good personality, I think, as kind of a heel, so I think it's gonna be fine. Let's just see where this goes. And I kind of like his new look with the no hair, and he's dressed up in suits. He looks good. Alright, so he says if Raw doesn't get both briefcases, Stephanie's gonna be really disappointed. And Alexa says she's still hurting, and everybody calls her out on it, and starts with a fight. And Natalya, she says she'll win and face her friend Ronda Rousey, and blah blah blah. Kevin, he says that this ladder match is unfair because Braun is taller than everybody. He's like, Braun's just gonna be on the middle thing, and he can reach up and grab it. When he climbs, are they gonna raise the briefcase to make it fair? It's just silly. So that was pretty funny. And then Owens, he tries to suck up to Corbin by being like, I love your new haircut, love your suit, it looks great. Just all this stuff. I love Kevin Owens. He's probably one of my favorite wrestlers in WWE right now, besides Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, and Braun. Those are my 4 favorites. It goes Seth, Braun, Finn, and Kevin. Top 4. If I had to go for 5, it's obviously Roman Reigns. I'm just kidding. I don't know. I gotta think about that one. But those 4 are the greatest. Alright, so Braun, he basically looks at Kevin like he wants to murder him, and starts yelling at him. And then Alexa, she just screams, and everybody shuts up. And Alexa says that her Mixed Match Challenge partner, Braun Strowman, is going to win. And Braun, his reaction was the best, because Braun had just the biggest, blush face ever, and it made me laugh my ass off. I love that. It's just, a little, kind of silly romance thing between Braun and Alexa, just this weird romantic tension. I think it's funny, and it's adorable, because I'm he's freaking 8 feet tall, and she's tiny. So it's really funny. Braun, Braun, after, arguments break out more about who's mixed match challenge partner is going to win, Braun does the raw, just like Alexa, and he says that everybody in the Money in the Bank match is going to get these hands, and yeah, the segment ended, which I'm like, alright, it was a fine segment to open it, I guess. I mean, not the greatest. There's been a lot of better kind of talking segments to build it up. I mean, it's like we've seen this before, so I mean it's nothing new. I don't know. It just didn't capture me too much. But anyways, it was fine. Match 1 is Alexa, Ember, Natalya, and Sasha. Now I recorded on DVR and then I watched it the next day, so I mean that's why I kind of can enjoy Raw, I think, a little bit better than other people because I'm not watching through all the commercials and watching the full 3-hour experience. But I mean, still it gets a little grueling. And Alexa and Ember, I may have skipped a little bit, but it seemed like they all just come out afterwards, which I'm like, that's weird. Why would they go to the back and then come out for their match right after the promo segment? Why not just, I don't know. So, Alexa, she's, dominating at first, and then she gets cocky, and Ember Moon takes over. Alexa, she tries to run for her life, but, she gets murdered. There's, this section of the match where there's just multiple near falls, all just trying to do the roll-ups and everything. It's just, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It was pretty awesome, I gotta say. It's pretty cool. So, I like that. And, Natalya and Sasha, they end up in the ring and they do a bit of good wrestling. It's like, wow, this is fantastic wrestling, man. I really enjoyed it. I think they're great. Sasha, she takes a suicide dive from Ember that scared me. Sasha, the back of her head just smashed right into the barricade, which I was like, oh my god, she's gonna die. That's the thing I don't like about Sasha. She's it's the reason I don't like Will Ospreay and Takahashi. Well, I like them, but I don't like what they do, where they take so many risks. I'm like, dude, you guys are gonna die in the ring. I don't want to see that. I'm in the camp of people that doesn't want to see people die. Sure, some people like to watch where people are really close to hurting themselves and all right, but personally, I don't like it. I think that the point of wrestling is to put on a good performance without hurting yourself, and I don't want to see people get hurt. It's just something I don't like watching. Watching botches of people getting really hurt is just gross. Ugh. It just scares me. Alexa, she almost gets the win on Sasha. Alexa and Natty are in the ring after the break doing some wrestling and blah blah blah. They're doing fine. Ember, she does a double cross body and looks fantastic doing it. Just all these cool moves. There's a Tower of Doom spot with all the competitors, but Alexa, she stays on top. She gets out of it, and which I thought, all right, yeah, it's kind of cool that they did one Tower of Doom spot where the person on top gets out of it. And she goes for the Twisted Bliss, but gets countered. And there's multiple near falls in this match near the end. And then Natalya wins with a sharpshooter. Overall, it was a pretty great Fatal 4-Way. I thought it was a really awesome way to open the show. But it lacked... it lacked a lot of excitement when I felt it got a little cliched at some spots with Fatal 4-Ways, where it's two people on the outside of the ring just laying there dead while the other two are in the ring fighting. It's and it doesn't seem to incorporate the Fatal 4-Way, rules and stuff, and it's just two people fighting and two people relaxing, and I just don't like that about Fatal 4-Ways sometimes. But next we have Finn Balor and Kevin Owens backstage. Kevin, he comes up with some olives, and he's I know you're into that organic crap, so here's some olives, extending an olive branch, but I don't have an olive branch, so here's some olives. Kevin's just so funny. And he tries to form an alliance with Finn, and he says, hey, we should take out Braun, man. Braun's gonna kill us. And he said, I know you can't beat him. And then Finn gives him literally, what? Like, just he's insulting them, but also trying to get their trust. So yeah, that plays in later. Okay, match 2 of the night is Fashion Police versus Ziggler and McIntyre. And to start off, Jonathan Coachman, I hate him. He's the worst announcer. Like, I'd rather have Byron Saxton. At least Byron Saxton's kind of like goofy, in a way that's like he's a nerd. Like Byron Saxton's like a guy who will annoy you, but he's like a nerd, so it's kind of not too bad. Coachman, he's just dumb. He compares Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler to the Golden State Warriors. He says, you might be there in the first quarter, but after at the end they always win. It's like they lost a match they were the first people eliminated in a joke of a battle royal with a bunch of tag teams that suck. The Raw tag division is full of joke teams and Authors of Pain who we haven't seen in like weeks now. I'm like, where's Authors of Pain? You call them up and you do nothing with them. They're apparently on Main Event. It's like, these guys should be winning the tag titles like at Money in the Bank. They should be just controlling this tag division, just dominating everybody because it's Authors of Pain. That's what they do. And you should have kept Paul Ellering with them. But yeah, Dolph and Drew were the first eliminated in that match, so they look like jokes. It's like, that was a good thing I didn't review Raw last week, because I would have went on a rant about this, because Drew and Dolph shouldn't be getting eliminated in the first minute of a battle royal full of joke teams that they're all obviously going to beat up. Now they look weak from that. At least Dolph looks weak. Drew still kind of looks strong. But I mean, Dolph, he looks like a joke. And they're not the Golden State Warriors, coach. Ugh, man. Okay. Dolph takes control early. And, basically they're beating up the Fashion Police, and McIntyre comes in, just throws them around and stuff. Dolph comes back in and, takes control. But Breeze, he hits a step up in Zaguri and kind of takes control of the match. And this leads to a hot tag to both guys. Breeze, he kind of does smack around McIntyre a little bit. Nothing that's like McIntyre was like a little stunned, but it wasn't like he was controlling the match. And then McIntyre suddenly just kills them. And yeah, he just murders these two. He looks great, McIntyre, just 1-on-2, just destroying these guys. He does he power bombs Fandango onto Tyler Breeze, and there's a Claymore zigzag for the win. It's a fine showing for Drew and Dolph. They look 10 times better than last week. And I think they're going to really kick ass in this tag division. I mean, they have to, because, who else is there? Who else is there in the tag division besides the Leader of Worlds and the B team who can be good? Because you made the Revival a joke. You made Slater and Rhino a joke. Titus Worldwide's a joke. Fashion Police are a joke. Authors of Pain aren't even there. So, I mean, it's just them. They're the only serious tag team. There's nobody else. So there's a post-match promo. They call the tag battle royal a fluke, and Drew says, look at these guys, the bodies on the floor of Tyler Breeze and Fandango. Like, this is our proof that was a fluke last week. And they call out all the top tag teams, which is Titus Worldwide, the B team, and the Leaders of Worlds. Which I'm like, those are the top 3 tag teams? Like, only one of them I think is actually fun, and I could believe is a good tag team, which is the Leaders of Worlds, because, I mean, you got Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy, but the B team, which is a joke team, and Titus Worldwide, which is also a joke team. It's like, those are the 3 top tag teams in the Raw tag division. It's like, Raw has nobody, man. And they say they're going to save the division, which I'm like, yeah, they have to, because there's nothing here. There's literally nothing in the division. It's like all joke tag teams. Like, I like comedy in my wrestling a bit, Like, I like some entertainment. Like, I love the B team. They're pretty fun. I think they're a fun team. Like, a lot of people hated their barbecue segment and all this stuff about them, but I'm like, no, you know what? They're fine. They're a fun tag team. I enjoy watching them. You know, they make me laugh, and I'm like, all right, you know what? I think they're fine. But I mean, when they're the number one contenders, like legit, like one of the top teams, it's like, wow, there's nobody in this division. Like, look at SmackDown's tag division. You got the Usos, you got the New Day, you got the Bludgeon Brothers, you got Gallows and Anderson. You got so many teams that are great. Those are the 4 top tag teams in that division. 4 tag teams that are all pretty great. And on Raw, you just got joke teams. That's it. Nothing else. Just a bunch of jokers. Ugh. Yeah, that's my rant about the tag division. Man, that disappointed me because it used to be so good. Oh, and I forgot the Bar is on SmackDown too. The Bar. There's 5 teams there that are amazing, which is why the SmackDown tag division is awesome to watch. Raw's is doing nothing. Next, we get a Roman Reigns interview. Roman Reigns says Jinder's an idiot, and he's going to kill him tonight, and he's the rightful champion, and blah, 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 blah. He didn't get money to pay, blah, blah, blah. How will they get out of this match tonight? Well, you'll see. It was actually kind of funny. Next, they show Paul Heyman do a tweet about Brock Lesnar beating CM Punk's reign. Well, they didn't say CM Punk's reign, but they said he's the now the official longest reigning champion in the past 30 years. So, yeah, they kind of basically said, yeah, he beat CM Punk's reign. Which, Corey mentions that Brock is, fans don't like him because they don't feel like he defended the title enough to be considered one of the best champions. Which, true. He hasn't been there. He hasn't done anything there. Like, I saw a thing on a Facebook group that I'm in for wrestling, and they were talking about like how Brock, Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada went 66 minutes, and that's more time than Brock Lesnar fought in 2017. That's more time than he spent in the ring. It's like ridiculous. Like, 2 guys can have a match longer than Brock Lesnar's time in a wrestling ring in a whole year. I mean, I don't know how accurate it is. Maybe it's Brock's a little over, but it's still around the same. And this guy's the Universal Champion, and he's been the longest reigning Universal Champion. Like, he's going on over 400 days. Like, my God. Like, Okada, he's had the title for over 700 days, and he defended that title so many times. Like, compared to Brock, Okada is, like, the greatest champion of all time. Man, I'm sad his reign's over because, like, Okada is the greatest champion of this generation. I don't think he'll ever be topped. Like, man. Okada might be the greatest of all time. I don't know. He's fantastic. But Brock, he's done nothing. He hasn't been like show stealing for a while now. It's like, we're tired of him. I don't mind Brock being there as like an attraction. He fights like maybe like a big star at like the big 4 pay-per-views and collects his paycheck. Like, I'm cool with that. I would like to see Brock wrestle still, but I just don't want to see him as Universal Champion because he's just been Universal Champion for so long. It's bullshit. Alright. Next is Jinder Mahal versus Roman Reigns. Jinder starts with a promo saying that he'll prove a point tonight that Roman Reigns isn't good. And sorry if my voice is going a little bit. I don't know what's happening. But yeah, he says the winds are changing, and he will basically destroy Roman with Koloss after Koloss after Koloss at Money in the Bank. And next thing you know, Roman Reigns comes out to interrupt him, and Jinder, he is like, oh shit. And Roman surprisingly had a great reaction tonight, which I'm like, well, good for you, Roman. Finally, a good reaction. Sorry, I just stupid allergies. After so long, of being booed, you finally get a good reaction in one building, which I'm like, which Brian Alvarez, he had made a good point once on like a Wrestling Observer Live, I think, where he said that they should just bring Brock around to city after city after city, pay him like $1 million just to sit in the back, and when Roman Reigns gets a good reception, just change the title that night so you get that big cheer. Which I'm like, yeah, that's probably the best idea you could do. All right. Jinder does another promo. He says like that Roman's judgment is clouded and he's delusional, and that Jinder is better, and that's going to lead to his downfall. And he said, Roman, I didn't say you'd face me tonight. I just challenged you to a match. And he said like, so the fans are like, oh, bait and switch. But like Jinder, I kind of liked what he did here. He's just like, the man you're going to face is great. He's shoulders above every wrestler here, and he's like, building up for the Great Khali to come out, which is like, everybody's like, oh my god, Great Khali versus Roman Reigns, and he says, it's gonna be you versus the great Sunil Singh. And then Sunil Singh is just like looks like he's so afraid, and then Jinder, he gets in the corner, he's like, come on, you're better than him. Think about all your training. You're the greatest. You can beat Roman Reigns easy. And Sunil's getting all hyped up, and then Roman just knocks Jinder off the apron and just murders Sunil Singh. Hits him with the Superman punch and the spear. Sunil looks dead. And then after, that, Jinder collapses Roman. And Jinder is standing tall going into Money in the Bank, which means Roman's probably going to win now. So, yeah. Which, even before the segment, I knew Roman's going to win. They're not going to have him lose to Jinder Mahal. When they want him to be the top guy, they're not going to do that. Alright, match 4. B Team versus Slater and Rhino. B Team, they take control early, they try to end it, and then they hit their double neck breaker thing. Like it's like a back suplex into a neck breaker, and they win. Just a regular match, nothing too exciting. It was like, so, whatever. Afterwards, the Leaders of World show up on the screen, and they say they're wonderful. And next thing you know, they show up on the stage, and they're like, say that we're gonna beat you, obsolete mules, and they're omniscient, and the B Team is afraid, and Matt Hardy says they will eat them and then delete them. It's like, that was fun. That was really fun. Corey Graves, he was funny. He says like, Matt Hardy just threatened to eat a grown man, which I was like, all right, that's good. Corey Graves is awesome. Like, sure, he has his moments where I'm just like, Graves, you, but overall, he's pretty great. Next thing you know, Elias is backstage, and he says tonight he's not used to performing in front of a bunch of Arkansas hillbillies. Next thing you know, we get this, after the break, we get an Elias performance where he says this is a final night before you see me as Intercontinental Champion, before you see me as the Intercontinental Champion, and it's just like, he says, I got a special song for Seth. And he does this song for Seth, and listen to. I kind of recommend, if you have Raw recorded and you haven't watched it, just listen to this in the 2 Fatal 4-Way matches, because this was funny. This was probably my favorite part of the whole show. One of my favorite parts. And he says that Seth has the worst nicknames. He's like, you're the architect, but you tell us to burn it down. Make a choice, Seth. And he says, Seth freaking Rollins? Is that supposed to be cool or something? And like he says that, and he says like that Seth is a tool for doing CrossFit, which I'm like, that's funny. So I just wonder when the song's getting on iTunes. I want to see Elias they should really record those songs and put them on iTunes. I think that'd be funny. I bet some fans would buy them. I'd buy them. That would be funny. I'd play them for my friends to see how they react. Next thing you know, he says, well, hold on a sec, I got a special thing. I wasn't going to show you this, but I'm going to. and he pulls out this guitar with the Intercontinental title spray paint on it and his name. It's a really cool looking guitar. I'm like, wow, that looks really cool. And he says it was a gift given to him by one of his best friends, John Mayer. And I thought that was just funny. He's just like, yeah, my good buddy John Mayer. Elias is one of my favorites. He might be number 5 for me on my list of favorite wrestlers on Raw. Next thing you know, Seth, he comes out to attack him, and Elias runs away, and Elias is cowering in fear. And Seth is like, Elias, you're a coward. You've been attacking me for weeks, and I want to like you. I want to be your friend, but I mean, you're a jerk and just stuff like that. So that was fun. And Seth, he grabs his guitar, and Elias is like, no, please don't do that, don't, because Elias knows it's coming. And Seth, he says, let's have an auction right here in Arkansas. And you see, he's like, who wants to bid? And Elias is like, I'll bid, I'll buy it, please don't destroy it. And Seth, he puts it down on the ground, and he teases he's gonna stomp on it, and Elias is like, no, please. And you see just Elias just start to pour sweat, and he's just like freaking out. He doesn't want his guitar destroyed from his best friend John Mayer. And Seth is just joking around with him, and Seth, he then just does the curb stomp right to his guitar, which I thought was awesome, and just destroys it, picks it up and just starts playing it. And then Coach does his another freaking big mistake, and he says John Mayer is a freaking hip-hop artist. You know what? No, he said, screw it, I'm not gonna say freaking. Here, cover your ears if you're under 12. John Mayer is not a fucking hip-hop artist. Coach, you suck. Coach, he shocks me. Oh my god. What's wrong with you, Coach? How do you not... I'm tired of him. Overall, this was probably my favorite segment of the whole night. It was so fun. I like Elias and Seth. Honestly, they're awesome. They're a cool bunch of guys. All right, Kevin and Bobby backstage. Kevin tries to form another alliance, and he wants them all to work together 3-on-1 with Braun Strowman. And he's like, nice robe, by the way. I like Kevin, man. He's just great, but, there wasn't much to this segment. Match 5, we got Bayley versus Ruby Riot. Riot Squad, they destroy everything backstage while they get on the way to the ring. And Riot, she takes control, starts taunting Bayley. And Riot Squad keeps trying to interfere, but then Bayley, she comes back. But later in the match, she loses control after a kind of botched drop kick. She tried to go under the bottom turnbuckle and drop kick her on the outside, but it just didn't work out. The momentum wasn't there, so she kind of just scoot forward for Ruby to grab her leg or whatever, so they could do the spot. But Ruby, she gets control after the break. Bayley fights back. Bayley does a great job selling the ribs here. I thought she did a really good job of selling the ribs. And Bayley misses an elbow. Ruby Riot, she smashes her into the post and hits her with the Riot kick to win. Overall, it was a good match. Nothing special. Just a match. And like I said, after you spend a day watching probably the greatest match of all time in Kenny Omega versus Kazuchika Okada, that's my all-time favorite match now, honestly. When you watch that, nothing else seems good, especially the stuff on Raw. It's it could be fun, but I mean, it's not going to be great compared to that. So Bayley, she gets an R drawn on her. I guess Riot Squad's going to take a bit from the NWO now. They're kind of going to be an NWO style faction, which, all right, maybe have more people join. I don't mind if there's factions. I think there should be factions in wrestling. We should have had a Balor Club. We should have had the some other stuff. we've had like tries at like some sort of faction thing, but it just never really works. Like we got Undisputed Era in NXT, they're a faction and stuff, so that's cool. But I want to see an actual like team, a group, a faction of people just trying to work together for one common goal. And I want to see more of that because it's great in New Japan, and with the talented WWE, I think it'd be great too. All right. Next, we get Natty and Ronda backstage, and Natty's telling Ronda to look out because Nia's really aggressive right now, so you have to be careful around her. Which, yeah, good point. Okay, you get the Ronda and Nia face-off. Coach gets to moderate the face-off, blah, blah, blah. Honestly, guys, I didn't really focus too much on this. It's just three people who aren't the best talkers right now. Like, Ronda... when she's like off script and does what she wants, like in UFC, she was pretty good at talking. But when she has to follow a script and she has to do the facial expressions they want and she can't go off, it hurts her, I think. And yeah, I kind of wish that they could do something better. So yeah, but Ronda, one section that got my attention was when she was like, when Nia basically was like, you haven't earned it, like, you're not ready for this. And, well, I mean, she was kind of saying, like Nia was like talking about how Ronda has like only one match and stuff and blah, 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 blah. But it's like, you challenged her. So, like, Nia, you sound like a chump because you're challenging a person who's only had one match. Like, you might as well just challenge Kurt Hawkins while you're at it. And, yeah, that just got a little ridiculous. And, Ronda, she does this great promo where she's talking about how, like, her whole life has been, like, people telling her, you're not ready for this, you're not ready for that. But Ronda says, no, nobody said I was ready for the Olympics when I was 17. Nobody said I could make it to Strikeforce champion after 4 fights, but I did. Nobody said I could be like an all-time seller I could do great in the UFC and sell out my headline a card and sell out a pay-per-view, but she did that. And then she said nobody said I could be UFC champion, but she's going into the Hall of Fame, which I thought awesome. That was great, Ronda. Like, that's what we should see this intensity where she's just like going off on these like people who are haters of her and say, you know what, look at all I've accomplished, I'm ready for this. That's the Ronda I want to see. I want her to do more stuff like this, not like silly promos where she has to look like a baby face, like, yeah, let's do this, team. I want her to be a badass who says, I'm great, you all know it, and I'm gonna kick ass and I don't care. Like a Stone Cold knew he was a badass. That was his character. And he was a badass. Nia, she headbutts Ronda. Ronda tries to put her in the armbar. And yeah, like Nia's fighting it off, but Ronda, she wrestles her and gets that arm, does the armbar, and Nia taps out, which is like, whoa, she taps out Nia. And then the timekeeper rings the bell, which I was like, what? This wasn't even a match. That made me laugh. Like, that was like weird. But yeah, it was, yeah, that's how it ended. Ronda, she looked strong in the end. Nia, she's like, oh man, she actually got me this time. So I wonder who's gonna win this match, and I wonder even if it's gonna happen. Like, I'm just like wondering if it's gonna be like maybe like Natty betraying her or Stephanie like betraying her or something, or I don't know. Like, is this match gonna happen, or is it gonna be a 30-second squash? Because we don't know how Ronda is. Like, I heard a rumor that a lot of people who are backstage in the WWE don't think she's ready for a singles match, which I think, damn, like, if you're gonna have her face the title and she's not ready for a singles match, you made a bad call. I guess we'll have to see how this goes. But this match I'm really nervous about because I don't know how it's gonna go. I want Ronda to have her first title win be really awesome and like a great match, but like I want Ronda to succeed because I like Ronda Rousey. She's awesome. She's one of the coolest women on the planet, and like UFC, she dominated. In WWE, she's starting to do great, but like we don't know how she is in the singles match, and I just hope it doesn't end up being bad. Next is No Way Jose versus Kurt Hawkins. Nothing to it. Kurt Hawkins is just like sitting in the back, and then it's revealed he was in the conga line, so he does a roll up on No Way Jose, but then Jose just kills him. So yeah, just a match. It didn't even feel, it wasn't a match. It was just a squash. It didn't even feel like it needed to be on the card, honestly. Like, it didn't need to be there. The show wouldn't have changed without it, which I don't get why they do that. Like, why waste airtime with Kurt Hawkins and No Way Jose? Ugh. So Finn and Bobby are backstage, and they debate whether or not to listen to Kevin and all that stuff. And it's, they're just debating, blah, blah, blah. Next, they set up an obstacle course for Bobby Lashley. And, oh, man. I don't know what's the worst feud of the year. Like, this feud, AJ Styles Nakamura, with having so many bad finishes, I can't believe it. Or Bayley and Sasha, where they have an on-again, off-again feud that sucks. I can't decide which is the worst. They all suck. Oh my god, you got like 2 awesome feuds in NXT. You got the Undisputed Era and Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch and Pete Dunne, which is an amazing feud. Like, that feud is just cool. I'm like, oh my god, these guys are awesome. They're the coolest. Then you got like another great feud, which probably is the greatest feud in wrestling right now, and that's Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. In my opinion, that's my favorite feud of the year. I think that by the end of this year, I'm going to say Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa is the best feud of the year, and they've been putting on the best matches. Like, these guys are awesome. And then you get here, and you get stuff like, Sami Zayn and Bobby Lashley are feuding, and they're gonna, Sammy puts men in drag and says they're Bobby's sisters, and Sammy says like Bobby Lashley doesn't have actual like military experience, he's just stealing valor and blah blah blah. It's like, this feud sucks. WWE, you suck for this feud. All right, I'm not gonna blame Sammy and Bobby, because I know those two guys are awesome. From what I didn't watch Bobby Lashley in TNA, but from what I've heard and even a bit what I've seen, he looked awesome and he sounded awesome in TNA, man. Like, and now you're gonna do this terrible storyline where it's just one bad thing after another every week. This feud pisses me off because I just want it to be over. Sammy, I'll give him this. He really makes me want to watch his ass get kicked at Money in the Bank. So they accomplished their goal there, I'll say. So, Sami Zayn obstacle course. I said this is ridiculous. Michael Cole, he said that this rivalry is strange, but that's an understatement in my opinion. This isn't just strange, this is downright shit. Okay, so Sammy, he comes out for his promo and he's like, I want to prove that, he's like, what, everybody's just booing me because I accused Bobby Lashley of stolen valor. He's like, I'm just curious. So he's like, I'm not saying he did it, so blah blah blah. He's like, he's just trying to prove, like, yeah, well, you know what, I just made this obstacle course so I can make a point that he stole it. Like, this is a military obstacle course. One thing I'll give to this segment is I like that in the corner of the Titantron, there was a picture of Sergeant Slaughter there, which I was like, all right, I like that. That was nice. Only positive I can give to this segment, and also Bobby Lashley's athleticism is another thing I can give to this segment. Those are the two only positive things about this segment, in my opinion. Nothing else positive. Yeah, well, Sammy says when he beats Bobby Lashley in this, he'll dedicate this win to the greatest military force, Canada, which I'm like, Canada needs our help to help them not get taken over. Yeah, USA. That's right. I like America. Come at me, Canadians. I don't care. Yeah. Alright. Bobby Lashley, he comes out and, you know, Sammy, he's not getting near him because he's like, you broke my hand. And Sammy, he said, you know, a green beret can do this obstacle course in like 2 minutes, 30 seconds. He's like, I did it in 1 minute, 30 seconds beforehand with a broken hand, you know, stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. So, Bobby, he goes first, and like he does the whole course in 45 seconds. Really impressive to see. I'm like, wow, Bobby Lashley's a badass. So that's the only thing I can give this. And then Sammy ambushes Lashley afterwards. And he hits him with the haluva kick, and then afterwards, Sammy, he grabs that rope that was for the rope climb at the end for the final obstacle, and he just does this really comedic swing, which I was like, all right, that was kind of funny. Like, that made me laugh a little bit. Overall, it was a silly segment that was probably that's dog shit, but at least there was no men in drag. That's a positive I can give this segment. No segment will ever be as bad as Bobby Lashley's sisters. But oh my god, these segments might be the worst segments of the year. Like last week he's talking about Instagram and blah 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 and blah blah blah. It's like, this feud isn't great. It's not fun. It's not funny. It's just lame. Sammy looks like a dork. Bobby looks like a dork. Everybody looks like worse from this. If anything, if you want Sammy to look like a goofball who's gonna get his ass kicked, you're doing a good job, but you're not accomplishing making Bobby Lashley look like a badass. Like, he's not going out there and like beating up Sammy for this. He's just like, yeah, man, it's funny. You're funny. You're a funny dude, man. But it's like, no, you shouldn't be. You're a funny dude. You should be like, haha, funny, and then rip his head off. That's all you gotta do to look badass. You don't gotta do anything like what you're doing right now. It's simple. Kevin tries to do his plan, and you know, he's like, all right, you're gonna attack his legs, so I'm gonna attack his blah 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 blah. And Braun, he comes in the frame and he says, yeah, I want all you to team up on me, and let's see what happens. And he goes raw and scares the shit out of all of them. So I'm like, I love me some Braun Strowman. All right, so main event time with Braun, Balor, Roode, and Owens, and oh my god, this is probably the best thing of the whole show. Like, this was worth like kind of like everything, because this was fun. Braun, he goes after Kevin first. He throws Bobby around, collapses Finn's chest. They all try to attack Braun on every side, kind of like the Shield used to do. And Braun still can't go down. He looks like a monster. But then they start to wear him down in the corner. And Kevin says, who's the monster now? But then Braun, he comes back and just kills all of them. And Kevin, he tries to run away. But he chases Kevin and runs him into the screen. Destroys the screen. Like, makes it glitch out. That's how hard he threw him. And Braun goes over to the announce table and starts to tear that apart. But Roode saves Kevin by hitting Braun with a ladder, and they keep hitting him with the ladder until Braun falls onto the announce table, leading to Kevin Owens grabbing a ladder and climbing up to the top and doing a frog splash right off the top. And you can hear Finn go, come on, you can do it, you can do it. Like, I think kind of referencing last week with the whole, like, he's scared of heights thing, which I guess he's not now. I mean, consistency, please. Alright, so, yeah, that was just awesome. A frog splash off of the top of a ladder through the announce table was amazing. Like, that was so cool. And it took out Braun and Kevin for a while, you know. And, we come back, and, like, Bobby and Finn are fighting in the ring. And, you know, it's a good match. You know, it's just like, but compared to, like, the chaos that just happened, it's like, oh, man, I kind of want to see some more destruction. Because, like, I love me some great wrestling. But I also love me some good destruction. That's why I love Braun Strowman. So Kevin, he comes back in the match and throws Finn off, and they're both trying to go for, like, you know, the top rope moves and stuff onto Bobby and, like, just stuff. But then Braun, he recovers after a Tower of Doom spot from all three guys in the ring, which I'm like, well, another Tower of Doom spot. Like, I don't know. I don't like that there's parallels between the two main event, like the main event match and the opening match, because I'm like, you should have done something different there. But, whatever. Braun, afterwards, he's getting up, and then they cut to Kevin, and Kevin looks like he's about to cry. He's like, no, please. And then Braun kills Finn after Finn tries to run out after him. Then he kills Roode, and he looks to kill Owens, but then Kevin, he tries to run out of the crowd, but he slips, and Kevin falls down. Braun grabs him, drags him out, and Kevin's like, no, no. And then he just basically kills him. And he does a shoulder tackle, runs all around the ring, hits all three guys, and then Kevin, he does his world famous now, like where he gets hit in the shoulder and he does a backflip and lands on his belly. My favorite thing of all time. And so afterwards, Braun, he's going in for going to the ring to finish off the match, but they all start to team up on him again, and they get him down to one knee, and Kevin, he tells Bobby to go for the glorious DDT, and then Kevin rolls him up, and next thing you know, Finn, he hits the coup de grace on Braun, goes for the pin. Bobby breaks it up. There's a glorious DDT on Braun, and then Bobby tries to go for the pin, but then Owens breaks it up, and then there's a frog splash on Braun, but he kicks out, and then you hear this yell from Kevin Owens that made me laugh my ass off. I can't even do it. It was just funny. And Braun, and Kevin, he gets the ladder and goes into the ring. He hits Braun with it once. He hits Braun with it twice. And on the third time, Braun just grabs the ladder and basically gives him the death stare. Braun puts the ladder on the ground, and before that, he grabs that ladder, throws it, grabs Kevin by the throat, and Kevin, he starts saying, I'm sorry, don't hurt me, I'm sorry. And then Braun just choke slams him. He picks him up and power slams him on top of the ladder for the win, which it was an awesome fatal 4-way, and I can't wait to see the Money in the Bank match, because these guys are fun, and they got the 4 guys from SmackDown who are also going to be awesome in the match. This match, Money in the Bank match, might be one of the best. Sure, Money in the Bank, I can't really think of one that's my all-time favorite Money in the Bank ladder match, because it's just more like a spot fest. But you know what? It's probably the most fun match of the year to watch, because it's just so much carnage and destruction. And then you're going to throw Braun in there. You're going to throw Rusev in there. You're going to throw Samoa Joe in there. 3 massive guys. You got all the little guys in there. You got high flyers. You got guys with charisma. It's that's the perfect formula for a ladder match. You need guys who can destroy shit. You need guys who are full of charisma. You need guys who can do high flying stuff, because then you have all the grounds covered for what makes a great wrestling match with multiple men. Because that TakeOver ladder match for the North American title is the best ladder match I've ever seen in my entire life, and that's because they had the perfect formula. You had Killian Dane and Lars Sullivan in there, who are just 2 big guys who want to destroy everything. You had Ricochet and Velveteen Dream, who are 2 high flyers who want to destroy everything. Then you got Adam Cole and EC3, who are 2 just charismatic guys who add way more to the match and make it more fun. And it's this Money in the Bank might be the best Money in the Bank. I don't know. I might say that this is the best Money in the Bank ladder match afterwards, because, 1, I don't remember the other ones, and 2, it's just full of awesome guys. So yeah, this match is going to be fun, and we'll figure out who I think is going to win it. I think I'm going to do my predictions on Thursday for Money in the Bank and TakeOver Chicago, so we'll figure that out. So I still got to watch SmackDown and NXT, and then I can start doing that predictions video. So overall, Raw, it was fun, fine, it's nothing too special. Just an average Raw. For the go-home show, it's kind of disappointing. Only the Money in the Bank match I'm excited for, really. Men's Money in the Bank and women's Money in the Bank I'm excited for, too. But like Roman Jinder, it's like Ronda and Nia, it's like just Elias and Seth. Well, like, I think it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be a good match, and maybe Elias will finally have a title, and that'd be pretty cool. Maybe I'll predict that. Maybe I won't. You'll figure out on Thursday. So yeah, overall, it's fine. Meh. Not for a go home though. Like if this was just like a week of Raw, I probably would be a lot more happy about it. But this is the go home for Money in the Bank, and it's like this isn't how you do a go home. Like sure, the main event's how you do a go home, but not like all these dumb matches. You have B Team versus Breezango, which I'm not excited for that. No, wait, no, it's B Team versus Slater and Rhino. Sorry, you got the tag division looking so weak, and I went on a good probably 3 to 5 minute rant there about this Raw tag division. So I mean, that pisses me off because this show showed how there's no one on the Raw tag division. And then I had a couple other rants about Ronda and Nia and his coach, and there's just stuff that pisses me off about Raw right now that I think they need to fix. And when they fix it, I think I'll really enjoy Raw a lot more. But for now, it's just another Raw. Nothing too exciting. I would, if you have a DVR, I'd recommend watching the first match, the Elias segment, and the main event. Those are the only 3 things I say are kind of worth seeing. Even during a week where I watched New Japan Dominion, those matches actually got me to go, yeah, you know what, that was pretty fun. In segments, I was like, you know what, that was fun. But yeah, so that's how we're gonna have to end the show today. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you like how I set up my camera now. Leave a comment. I think I got my email down like in the channel description somewhere. Email me if you want anything, or have any suggestions. Leave a comment if you have suggestions, something like that. Yeah, just let's see how this goes. Yeah, thank you again for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with a SmackDown review. I'll see you Thursday with NXT review, and then also some predictions for TakeOver and Money in the Bank. And Friday, I am planning on doing a show, and I'm not sure what I'm gonna do, but you guys will figure out what's gonna happen. And yeah, we're gonna add probably another show to the schedule here, so I have something on the weekend, because it's mostly a week show right now, and then the weekend I don't do anything. But I want to do something on the weekend too, so besides just like once a month when we have a pay-per-view. So yeah, I'll see you guys later.